First, let's talk about what the Fed actually did in 1979. So in 1979, American inflation was running at about 13%. And then a man called Paul Volcker took over the Federal Reserve, like Kevin Walsh just recently took over the Federal Reserve. Now, a lot of people like to compare Kevin Walsh to Paul Volcker, but we'll talk about later why Kevin Walsh is like a wish.com version of Paul Volcker. Anyway, Volcker was about 6'7", smoked cheap cigars, and did not appear to care what anybody thought about him. He didn't care if anyone liked him, my kind of guy really. And he had a big problem, the 13% inflation we just talked about. So how did he solve this problem? He pushed interest rates towards 20%. Mortgages went up to 18%, and businesses simply couldn't afford to borrow money because interest rates were way too high. And it was a crazy time. I mean, farmers drove tractors to Washington and blockaded the Fed building. Unemployment went over 10%. He was properly hated. Death threats, security detail for years afterwards. But it worked. He broke inflation's back, and it stayed broken for 40 years. But the thing is, gold got destroyed. It had spent the previous decade running from $35 an ounce to $850 an ounce. That's a 2,300% gain. Then because of Paul Volcker, it crashed 70% to 280 and spent 20 years going sideways. That's a long bloody time. So a tough Fed can genuinely kill gold for a long time, except Volcker could only do it because America barely had any debt back then. So when he cranked rates up to 20%, the interest that the government had to pay on its own debt was survivable. But like I've already said, today America owes $40 trillion and pays $1 trillion per year in interest on that debt. If Kevin Walsh even tries to raise interest rates to even 10%, half of what Volcker got to, it will bankrupt the US. They will quickly end up paying $3 trillion, $4 trillion, $5 trillion per year in interest. And that's why Walsh is a wish.com version of Paul Volcker. Same tough talk, same hard man act, except Volcker could actually back it up. Walsh is just kind of acting hard. Quick thing before you go, I've written a free guide called How to Retire Before 2036. It's a full 10-year plan for anyone starting late. Get out of debt, invest properly, retire on time. Free download, link in the description.